Hi, Matt with eTrailer. Today we're talking about the Saris SuperClamp bike rack on the back of our 2020 GMC Acadia. Now this is going to be a great option if you're looking at something that's just going to be really easy to use and look pretty nice on the back of your Acadia. So let's start off by checking out how our bike is interacting with the vehicle. So with a mountain bike, we still have plenty of room behind here. So even if you're on those really bumpy roads, we're not going to make contact with our back window. Now, I will say we do have the ability to tilt with this, and it's going to be a moderate tilt. To show you what I mean, I'll pull on this lever here. Sometimes you might have to wiggle it some to alleviate some of that pressure. There we go. And you can tell it's not much, but you still can clear with this. But not all the way. So when I pull on the lift gate, you'll notice we're going to barely clear with the pedal here. I'd say if you have the pedal in an other position, it's probably going to make contact. But when we get to the very top, you'll notice we're going to make contact with our handlebars. If maybe you had a road bike, that might clear the way, but in our case today, it won't. But this will give you enough room if you need to reach in, grab a bag, or something else that's pretty small, you can still do that. But if we want full hatch access, I'm going to take off my bike. And I will say this feels pretty smooth to move around, and we'll have a weight capacity of 60 pounds per bike. Now to actually take off the bike, I'm going to start on this rear strap, pressing in that button, taking it out of the way. And on the front side, all I have to do is go to this arm. And what I like about this, it's spring loaded, so when you squeeze on there, lift up, it's going to retract back down. So it makes it really easy to work around, just like that. And once we're done, I'll take my bike and go out for a ride. Something else I did want to point out about that rear strap is that it's able to move up and down on this tray here, just like that. Now the next thing I want to talk about is going to be how much space is taken up. So let me grab my tape measure, and let's start off with the ground clearance. So from the furthest point out, this is going to be sitting just a little bit over 22 inches. That's pretty good. You shouldn't have to really worry about making ground contact in too many situations. So the big spots to really worry about though would be any type of really steep incline like a driveway or a parking lot. Now the next thing I'm going to get is going to be from the back of your bumper to the back of the rack. And that's only going to be 24 inches. So for a 2 bike rack, that's actually really compact and it's saving us a lot of room. And we can save a little bit more room, not much if I'm being honest, because the pivot point on here pivots here at the center. And if I get that measurement now, that's only going to be sitting at about 15 inches, which is still a pretty good amount of space to save. But what I really like about this is we are able to open up our hatch. And it's pretty rare to open up a hatch with a bike rack in the folded up position. And especially for the Acadia, since it has this larger lift gate. And another benefit of this, with this design, it's not going to block anything. So your license plate, your backup camera, taillights, and back window won't be obstructed, especially since we have the center here that's kind of cut out. And the way it's going to install is we're going to have a 1.25 inch shank right here going into our 2-inch hitch receiver. The way that's possible is because we have a 2-inch sleeve adapter that comes with this. We'll also have a pin that goes through to the other side and connects to a lock core. And that means this is going to be extra secure, so you don't have to worry about anyone taking your rack. And it's going to be key to like with some of the ratcheting arms on here, so you don't have to worry about anyone taking your bikes either. In the very back, at this point, we're going to have this knob. This is going to be an anti-rattle device, so you can just turn that by hand. And I like that because we don't have to worry about any tools to keep on hand. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a pretty solid option. Now, I will say there is also the Saris Edge. And what's nice about that is, in some ways, it does feel a little bit more sleek. It feels a little bit easier to tilt and fold down, and it is going to have a heavier weight capacity at 80 pounds per bike, but that one's going to be a little bit more premium. So it just depends where you are in your riding life and if you really do need that 80 pounds or not. But of course, if you guys have any other questions, please let us know here at eTrailer. And again, I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.